guys, and welcome back to another video. Now, today's video is going to be looking at body weight and about how body weight fluctuates throughout the day and throughout your week and so on. The reason I'm doing it is because yesterday I had a bout of illness. I think I must have picked up some sort of stomach bug, and it has affected my body weight quite significantly. And I just want to use this sort of my illness to explain to you guys a bit about how body weight works and about how it develops and changes on a daily basis. So the reason that I'm doing this video is obviously primarily because yesterday I had this sickness bug and I was basically in bed all day. I really struggled to keep food down, and I actually really struggled to keep liquids down too. I had a pint of water next to my bed pretty much the entire day, and I was sipping it, but because I felt so ill, I wasn't able to keep a lot of food in me, and so naturally I pretty much ate one slice of toast the entire day. And in terms of drinking, I was sipping water throughout the day, but it just wasn't what I would normally have consumed. Now, the reason that I'm doing this video today is because I am now, as you can see, getting over the sickness bug. But I stepped on the scales this morning, and normally for the last week or so, my weight has been around the 71.5 kilo mark. And I stepped on the scales this morning at 68. Now, that is a massive drop over a 24-hour period of about 2 to 3 kilos. And the reason that I am doing this is because it just goes to show how quickly your body can adapt and can change to your current circumstances. Now, first of all, obviously, I want to explain the illness side of things, but then I also want to talk about how your body changes in general, regardless of whether you're ill or not, and why you shouldn't specifically be looking at the scales when you're trying to determine whether you're doing well or not when you're working out and trying to hit your fitness goals. So in terms of how my body has adapted or how my body changed because of my illness, it was just a stomach bug. It lasted 24 hours. I'm okay now. I don't feel sick anymore. I've not got the most amount of energy because naturally I didn't eat anything yesterday really. But I feel okay. It is essentially out of my system. I just need to build my nutrition up over the next couple of days and I should be alright. Now, the reason that I have lost so much weight in just a 24-hour period, firstly, obviously I didn't eat any food really yesterday apart from a slice of toast, but most of it will be through water loss. So your body is constantly sort of using energy and using the foods that you put in your body to be able to run, right? It's similar to anything. You put fuel into it, it runs. Now, when you don't put any fuel in your body has to rely on other sources, i.e. body fat and so on, to be able to get the energy it needs to be able to just operate. But that's not really the reason why I lost the weight. The main reason I lost the weight would have been through water loss. And actually, having a shower this morning, I did physically appear a lot more shredded. And the reason being is because our bodies have a high content of water. A lot of our body is water weight. And so when you don't drink water and effectively you starve yourself, a lot of the loss of weight comes through your water loss. Now, when you put this in a normal day when you're not ill, the same thing applies. So if you have gone a couple of hours and you've not drunk anything, and obviously you're still sweating, you're breathing, your respiratory rate is still going, you're going to be losing water from your body, and so your weight will fluctuate because of that. Now, in terms of gaining weight from being ill, I've already started. So you saw on the camera at the beginning of the shot, it said I was about 70 kilo. When I first weighed myself this morning, I was 68, and since then I've had a couple of drinks, I've had a cup of tea, I've had some breakfast. So I've basically regained the weight that I was yesterday or the day before, just in having breakfast and getting some fluid back inside me. Now, in terms of how this affects your body on a daily basis, without being ill, so illness is obviously something that will affect how much water you have in your body. On a daily basis, your weight is going to fluctuate, which is why it is always advisable, if you are going to weigh yourself regularly, to always do it at the same time of day, and preferably doing it first thing in the morning when you've not eaten anything, because that is sort of, I guess, a true depiction of what state your body is currently at. So, on a daily basis, obviously you're going to have water loss and water gain through drinking and general dehydration. It depends on whether you do a lot of exercise on that specific day. If you do, naturally you're going to sweat more, you're going to therefore lose more water. But not only that, it depends on the food that you eat. Now, in terms of how your weight fluctuates over a day, obviously the more food you eat, the heavier you're going to be, and that's going to sort of go on and on and on and so forth. But basically your body will always gain and lose weight throughout the day through you eating, through you exercising, just through your body sort of managing itself and working. Your respiratory rate, you know, your ability to breathe, your heart rate, all of that will affect how heavy you are. Now, the reason that this is important is because when you are looking at hitting a goal, that could be gaining weight or losing weight, if you're so obsessed about the scales, people tend to get really disheartened when the scale doesn't show what they hope for. And sometimes that is not because you're actually physically losing or gaining weight as such. It could just be that is your body's natural process. And so if you always try to consider that your body will guarantee to lose and gain a few pounds each day, and you keep that cemented in your mind, like, it should hopefully mean that when you step on the scales, if you're not seeing a figure that you're quite happy with, you can at least put an explanation behind it. And that's the main reason for this video. So obviously I'm trying to link in my illness with it as sort of an explanation to show you that normally I don't drop 3 kilos in a day, and that was purely through water weight. But so many people get fixated on this idea of, oh my god, I've lost a load of weight, or I've gained a load of weight, and I've not done anything, and that has a massive psychological impact. So the take-home message of this video, guys, is although it's incredibly tempting to be staring at the scales, and depending on what your goal is, obviously looking at the scales is important. So if you're an athlete and you've got to be within a certain weight category, then that is obviously important. And actually, I recently, about a month or so ago, was watching videos on the process of getting to weight for a lot of fighters, and it's scary the lengths that they go to try and hit their weight category, including basically dehydrating themselves and getting rid of as much water weight as they can, while maintaining their muscle mass and all the rest of it. But in short, if your goals are to lose weight, I mean, gaining weight is a bit different because you are actively trying to get more food and stuff in your body. But if you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to get skinnier, let's say you're overweight and you've got a goal to lose however much, I would strongly advise for you to balance out the looking in the mirror with the scales, because and every fitness YouTuber on the planet's probably mentioned this, but fat weighs a lot less than muscle. And so if you're the kind of person that is trying to lose weight, but you're going into the gym and you're not just doing cardiovascular work, but you're lifting weights, that exercise, that anaerobic exercise, is going to mean that you will gain a certain amount of muscle mass. And so what that means is that because you're not just losing fat, but you're also gaining muscle, the amount that your weight will decline will not be as quick as if you literally just lost fat. If you lost fat but you maintain the same amount of muscle mass, your scales would just keep dropping, because naturally you're not gaining any additional weight through muscle mass. But because most training plans involve some form of anaerobic exercise, i.e. some form of lifting weights, your body will adapt to lifting weight by gaining more muscle. And it won't necessarily happen over a quick period of time, like you're not going to become a bodybuilder overnight. However, muscle will slowly gain, and you will gain that muscle, and it will affect the scales. So mainly I'm talking about this from a psychological standpoint, because I've been there myself, not losing weight but gaining weight, and I've been like, I really want to gain weight, and I consider myself to be quite a hard gainer. Like, I'll eat tons of food and my weight will stay fairly static, but I look in the mirror and I feel and I seem like larger, like I'm gaining muscle. Same for those of you who are losing weight. You know, you might physically be looking amazing, but your scales might not be changing as much as you want them to. So I really implore you, when you're trying to sort of take progress pictures, or you're trying to look at your progress, don't rely heavily on the scales. Use the scales by all means, but please still look in the mirror, because at the end of the day, like, if you're happy with what you see in the mirror, you feel better, like, you know, you're stronger, you're more athletic, you generally, like, life is better because you're achieving your goals. The numbers on the scale are irrelevant. really, they're completely irrelevant. So like I say, unless you are an athlete and your weight is important for hitting a competition or whatever it may be, like don't be so obsessed about the scales, because as this video proves, you can gain and lose body weight so quickly, and often it's just a representation of the water that's in your body, or the amount of fat in comparison to the amount of muscle that you have. So it's a very difficult scale to judge. So just be aware of that. Right guys, well I'm going to wrap this video up here. It's only a short little video because I felt that, you know, considering I've just got over some illness and seen how quickly it has changed my body weight, I thought why not take this time to talk about it and to address it, because it's something that frustrates me, not because people get so fixated on their weight, but because of the psychological impacts it can have. You know, sometimes, especially if you're like really emotionally invested in your goals and in your fitness, and then like you get on the scales and you see the scales haven't budged, or if anything they've gone up a little bit, and you get really put off by it. I just want to get the message across that, you know, the end of the day, your happiness and your health is what's priority, and as long as you're seeing and you're feeling much better, the scale is just a number. It's something that will change on a daily basis. In fact, it changes on an hourly basis. Okay, this morning as a prime example, woke up, I was 68 kilos, just gone and re-weighed myself and I was 70. So just bear that in mind. I'm going to end this video here, guys. If you've liked it, please leave the video a like. If you haven't already and you like my videos, please subscribe to the channel. I've got a whole range of videos that are coming out soon, plus I've done a load already, so make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell notification, and if you've got any comments on the topic I've just spoken about, please leave a comment below and I'll reply to you as soon as I can. So I'm going to leave it here, guys. Until next time, see you later. Bye.